I have given up on ice cream. Ice cream has been like one of my comfort foods for as long as I can remember. It's like one of the foods, like dairy and sugar as a whole, are like two things that if I eat them make me feel incredibly comforted. Um, and I've given up on ice cream because, not because of any particular reason, except that it's not doing its job. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I have these old ways to be comforted that are just not working. Like this current moment in time is feeling way more stressful than it seems is reasonable, beyond what I can even wrap my head around sometimes. And I've noticed in the last couple weeks when I go to have like some ice cream or even like a latte, it's leaving me feeling like there's still a hole inside of me. And that's not, its job is to fill the hole and it's not doing its job. But it's making me think about that. Like I've actually stopped eating it because I'm like, well, you're not doing your job. Like it's so ridiculous that I'm like, you're fired, ice cream, get out of here. But I want to name this because I think a lot of us are going through this feeling of like stress and overwhelm and anxiety and frustration that we cannot solve, right, with normal old mechanisms for managing the stress. I see this a lot in my clients, like people who love to shop. You know, you get that dopamine hit, that rush from shopping, of finding a deal or finding that thing you were looking for. And Lord knows we're at home. We have time and ability to shop right now, or at least look, or, you know, people eating. Like we all have our versions of this, like exercising. And some of them are super healthy and wonderful, and some of them are not so healthy, not so wonderful. But it doesn't really matter. The bigger conversation is not how do we stop doing what's unhealthy? How do we do this? We're in a tough spot. People are feeling very stressed right now. And I just want to say, let's just name it, right? Let's figure out how do we manage with what's going on in our lives while knowing that we are probably medicating on a regular basis and it probably is not doing its job, because the call from within us that makes us reach out for medicators is not actually the medicator itself. It's about something deeper. And so I want to take you guys through the process that I do when I'm feeling that itching, that desire, that craving for something, that is hoping to fill the hole inside. So the hole inside, let's name that first, is just like a place of trauma, a wound, a fear, a big feeling, something that feels bigger than we can possibly deal with. Maybe it's an old thing, maybe it's a trigger of an old thing, maybe it's something current. What I know to be true is that when we are in a state of true emergency, I mean, I know for me, I get focused. I am the person you want by your side if things get really bad, because I get super calm, very focused, and I'm going to get things done. I'm not in a current state of crisis right now. Some people are. I'm not. A lot of us are not in a current state of crisis. But in many ways, that's worse because we're sitting here in the uncertainty. You know, I'm sitting here and I told someone the other day, it's like we're all jumping off of a cliff and we're supposed to be making a nest when we have no idea where we're going to land, how we're going to land, if we're going to go splat, if the people we love are going to go splat. It's a very stressful moment. It's terrifying because there's nothing to do. Stay home, don't stay home. There's so many things that just like pop up inside from the news and from ourselves and just the world. And so we are in this kind of challenging moment because if we were in crisis, we would know what to do. We'd have something in front of us to do next. But those of us who are not in that moment, who are just kind of sitting around maybe waiting for it, it's very stressful and overwhelming. So let me just walk you through what I do in these circumstances that help keep me balanced and grounded and moving forward, because I want to stay my strongest in order to be of service when somebody needs my help, or to be able to take action when it's my time to be in crisis. I want to be as grounded and present as possible in order to do that work. So the first thing we have to do is you just have to name the thing you're feeling. So oftentimes, you know, like I mentioned that for me, a good trigger is like ice cream or dairy and sugar. If I notice that I'm craving that, like craving, and especially I notice it especially if I have it and it didn't quite fill it, where I'm like, I want something else. I don't actually want something else. Something else didn't get filled and I tried to fill it with the wrong thing. So notice first and foremost, are you craving something? Is there something you're looking for? Oh, I've got to find a skirt that looks like this. Oh, if only I had this, right? If you're looking, craving something, so name that. Like, wow, I'm aware that I'm craving, and name it, right? Now ask yourself, secondarily, what is that craving going to give you? Like, what does that actually give you? That item, that object of your craving, what does it give you? So for me, it gives me comfort, right? Now, there are a lot of places where I can get comfort, and a lot of comforts that are far more sustaining than something that I can put in my mouth and swallow. So think about these things. Like, okay, if you're getting comfort or stability or strength or empowerment or ease, or privacy. You know, there was like a time where I was like jumping on my phone a lot because I was always around other people and I just wanted some privacy, man. Like I just wanted someone to not talk to me for a second. And so I chose to be on my phone because I was like, oh God, I just don't want to be rude, but also like I just need a minute to myself, right? So there were times where I watched TV because I was trying to avoid the loneliness, right? When I'm living alone, it can be very lonely making, you know, to work all day and come home to an empty house. It can fill you with a lot of solitude. So I would sometimes go into that looking for some sort of companionship. So once you can name what you're actually looking at, then you can start to make a list of ways you can get that need met that doesn't require the craving, right? There's nothing wrong. Like I went through a phase when I was like really processing through medicators in my life and how I didn't want to medicate. And I would still let myself medicate, but I allowed myself to medicate with insight. Sometimes I would still eat the ice cream, even though when I was feeling stressed, even though I had acknowledged, oh, I'm just looking for comfort. So, oh well, that's an okay way to be comforted. It's not maybe the end all be all, but you want to give yourself some options. So make a little list. So how else can I feel comforted, right? I can get a hug from somebody else. I can give myself a hug. I can take some nice deep breaths. I can go out into nature. I can like go take a warm bath. What are the ways that I can feel comforted that are outside of and beyond this one way that I'm used to getting that need met, right? And then from there, when I recognize that craving, I can start leaning into those other ways. And really, one of the biggest things that you can do in this also is to thank yourself and thank your medicators and thank this moment, because as stressful as this is, if we're paying attention, if we're really doing our work, this can be a moment that sets us free. This can be a way for us to awaken how we get our greater needs met. Really, your life is not going to be better if you buy 5 more skirts, or if I eat another pint of ice cream, or if someone else watches 3 more movies on Netflix. Our world is not going to get better. Our world is going to get better when we can show up for ourselves first and foremost. Nobody can do this for us. We can do it for ourselves, and this is a powerful and beautiful lesson. So thank yourselves for showing up. Thank your cravings for being there as a safe harbor to let you work this baggage out. And thank the upcoming vehicles for getting that need met that are going to be supporting you in this current moment in time as well as for the rest of your life.